Today I'm going to be talking about mental math. Now, mental math is seen, of course, we see people do things like they can multiply things. You ask someone what is 84 times 92, and they just give the answer real quickly. Or if they would ask the question like, what is the square root of 16? People just do it without thinking. And while it's nice to be able to do that, for most of us, including myself, it can't be done as easily as you see on TV. Now, for example, if someone were to ask me what is 88 times 92, I could do the mental math, but the point is you have to be able to go through it in a process. Okay. For example, if I was doing 88 times 92, what I would do, I would look at the 92 is 11, so I would say 88. Now, where does that come from? Because I know that each side equals one thing that I relate back to 8. Okay, so 11 times 8 is 88. Then I can see mentally it's 72. So 72 and 8 would be 808. And then on the other side, I can see 8 times 2 is 16. Okay, so it'll be 8096. Okay, so that's would be the answer done mentally. But the point is, in order to do things mentally, you have to be able to do them without thinking. And so that's the point. Being able to do mental math by breaking things down is nice. But it's better to be able to do things just by automatic execution of the task. But that comes through practice. So when I talk about mental math, I'm talking about using your mind in such a way that you do things over time through practice and it becomes automatic. And so why do we do mental math? Because we train our mind to start to see patterns that we can use throughout life. It's like whenever you read something, you are reading something, but then if you want to recite it, then it becomes, in essence, mental math, because you're taking one thing and you're adding it to another thing, adding it to another thing, and adding it to another thing. Like one of my favorite things that I memorized a long time ago was a speech from George Carlin called Modern Man. And it was about, I believe it's about a minute long speech, and I'll just give you part of it. It goes, I'm a modern man, a man for the millennium, digital and smoke free, a diversified, multicultural, postmodern deconstructionist, politically and atomically and ecologically incorrect. I've been uplinked to download and input and outsource, another upside downsizing, another downside upgrading. I'm a high-tech lowlife, a cutting-edge, state-of-the-art, bi-coastal multitasker, and I can give you a gigabyte in a nanosecond. And so when I did that, when I memorized that, what I did was I wrote it out, or I printed it out, and I looked at it, and I broke it down by its individual parts. It took me about maybe a couple of days to do it, but I broke it down. Okay, I looked at it as a mathematical problem to be resolved visually, and then I had to do it mentally. And I probably learned this, I would think, well, probably a good 8 years ago. Okay, whenever the show came out on HBO. But the point is, I learned it, and it's still in my mind. So when I want to review it, I review it mentally. And the faster I say it, the more easy it comes. If I say it slow, it kind of loses its stride. And so that's what mental math is about. It's about being able to see something and then you break it down in such a way that you can actually see the results. So when we talk about mental math, we're really talking about using the processes of your mind to be able to expand knowledge in a way that starts and continues on in its essence. It starts at one point and it continues on to its logical conclusion. And so what it is, when you learn something, and the same thing with mental math, you have to know where your start is, and then you proceed to the end. And once you get there, you can use that over and over again. So when someone does mental math, or someone memorizes a speech or whatever, they have a process that they go through. It's like people who are polyglots. They have the ability to speak multi-languages, okay, more than 3. Well, they have a process they use. They say, okay, this is form, structure, and this is the process that I use. Every time they learn a new language, they go about it in the same way. They use the same process to complete the task. So that is their mental math. That's their way of taking something that they want to do and breaking it down in the natural process. Okay? So when you see someone who is good playing the piano or good singing, dancing, any skill, do not be so impressed with what they're doing until you understand that they had to go through the steps mentally to make it seem natural. Okay? So therefore, what I'm saying is that if you want to achieve the same goal, then you do the same thing. Okay? You can't bypass the steps. Wishing for something does not make it so. You have to make a goal and then go for it in that way. Okay? And so a lot of times if you ask yourself, why am I not, achieving something? How come I can't do this thing or achieve this thing or get this one thing done? Because you haven't applied the concept of mental math. You haven't looked at it in a way that you can see where your start is, and then you're adding onto it by definition. You're creating it by actually getting involved in it, knowing that there is going to be an outcome that you can continue to do over and over and over again. So do that. Do not be so involved in just the being enamored with someone who was great. Look at their process. See what they did. See how they lived, how they rested, how they ate, how they were able to overcome obstacles. Ask questions, learn something, and then put that into your plan of execution. And that will be your mental math, your way. Now, you can also call it a mind map. There's another word we can use. A mind map is a way of looking at something and breaking it down. Okay. Now, a mind map can be, for example, let me just show you a mind map here. Okay, so I'll take a pause and I'll come back and show you a mind map. Okay, so here I have a mind map I drew, and it's very simplistic. It simply shows I'm the subject, me, John, my wife Deborah. She has a son named Ray. I have a brother named Ray. I have a sister. Both my sister and brother like to sing. My brother Mike likes to sing. I have a dog named Jay, and Jay is like the first initial in my name. My dog likes to eat and walk. He likes to sleep. Again, about me, I can speak French. I can speak Chinese. So again, the map expands based on keywords, and this can go on forever. I just stopped at that point. And that's what a mind map does. It shows you who you are and what is pertaining to your own life. And so, again, that's how things work in life. Things are linked. And so, for example, if someone is good at sports, it means that they may be good at organization, may be good with working with a team. They may be able to do a lot more than just that one thing because it has roots that expand out into other areas. You see, so people are multifaceted because of the linkage of the one thing. And so by looking at the one particular thing about a person, like, what is the one thing about me that we can talk about, it expands and it goes on and on and on. And you can kind of see this in the statement. If you were to sit down and write everything that you know, you would never stop writing, because everything you know, it expands, it expands, it expands. Like, for example, you say, start with one thing. Who are you? Write it down, your name. And then you say, okay, what about the name? You can do you can do the history of the name, or where it came from in the family, or how it's spelled, starts with a J, and then how does that pertain to the alphabet, or there are other Johns that you know about, John the Baptist, John Rambo. It goes on and on. Just that one thing could go off into multi different subjects, and you'd be writing forever based on that one thought. So when you have a life that you're trying to evolve, you look at what you can do, and then what you want to do based on that one particular thing. Like, if you like to sing, okay, so where do you sing? Do you sing in the shower? Do you sing at parties? Do you sing in clubs? Now, if you sing in clubs, can you explain that to singing in a larger venue? And larger venue, or going on TV, or making movies, making records, and then going on the internet, and then visiting different countries. See, just that one thought of I sing in the shower, and it takes you to you sing in a concert hall, or you broadcast all around the world. Just that one little thought. You can take it from its inception and then just continue to make it expand, expand, expand. You learn one word. So use the example of language. If you think of a language that you don't know, so for example, you say, okay, let's use Chinese. How many? Okay, if you don't know Chinese, then there are millions of words in Chinese, and you know none of them. And so now I teach you one word in Chinese. So it's ni. Ni means you. Ni. So before you knew nothing of Chinese. Now you know one word. Okay, so one word is greater than nothing. Now if I teach you another word in Chinese, if I say wo, it means me, okay, or I, okay. So now you know me, you, and you know wo, I. So now you know two words, and now you've actually doubled your Chinese. So your Chinese has increased by 100%. You see? So before you knew nothing, now you learn one word, and then you increased it by 100% by learning a second word, and that's how it goes. So if you want to learn the entire language, all you do is you simply increase what you know by a factor of 1 or 5. So if I teach you 5 words, taught you one word, now I teach you 5 words. Now you learn it 500% in one day. So why not try to learn 5 words a day, and then you realize that if you learn 5 words a day, that's going to be like 150 words a month. Okay, that's not so bad. And then if you do that for a year, you've learned about 1,875 words in a year. And so therefore, at the end of a year, you've learned almost 2,000 words. And they say that if you can speak 2,000 words, you pretty well have the language to a point where you can use it in its daily usage. So therefore, if you focused on not trying to learn it all in one day, but just trying to learn it at a pace of 5 words a day, you're pretty well fluent. Okay, and again, so okay, you say I've used that for Chinese, now I'm gonna use it for French. I'm going to use it for Portuguese, I'm going to use it for Russian, whatever. It's the same process. It's using the math of language and the mind map to expand to be able to do what you want to do. That's the way it works. So if you find that it's not the case because you tried to go too far, too fast, and now you're frustrated. And so what happens is when a person is lost, they have to go back to a point where they know, and then start all over again. Okay, like if I was lost and I say, okay, I gotta go back. I gotta go back to a place where at least I know where I am, so I can start all over again. And that's what it's all about. So learning something is so important, and that's why the concept of mind map and mental math is so important. So you can see its application by doing, math, 6 times 4 is 24, things like that. But if you understand how you use that to say, I want to learn 24 words, okay, and if I'm going to learn 24 words, how many days should I take to learn it? Should I take Should I try to learn it in break it down by 6? Okay, because 6 times 4 is 24, or you can do it by 8. 8 times 3 is 24. You see, or you can do it by 12. 12 times 2 is 24. Or you can just do it by 24. 24 times 1 is 24. Which one's easier? Which formula is going to get you to the 24 that you desire in the time that you need, and being able to use it in the way that's proficient, not just forced. Okay, it's up to you. But once you decide that that's going to be your way of achieving it, then you use that over and over again. That's going to be your method. That's going to be your mental math, your mind map, your way, and that does work. So we're talking about utilizing things, utilizing your mind, having skills, having processes, having a way is going to help you to do all things. I mean, it's the way a guy meets women. It's the way a guy gets a job. It's the way a woman goes out and has her career. There is a way of doing things which works, and each person has to find out which way is the best way. But once you discover that way, continue to do that. Continue to make that your method, your way, and then you'll be great, and you can do a whole lot of things. So a person who is good at one thing, it's rare. People always say, he's a jack of all trades, master of none. But in essence, when a person is good at one thing, they're also probably good at things that are attached to it. Okay, and that's all one entity. That's all one thing. Like if you were a person who could play an instrument, and you could sing, and you could write songs, and you could perform, that's all included in the realm of entertainment. Entertainment is being able to write and perform, play instruments, and sing. Okay, it's also about being able to go out there and promote yourself. So it's all encompassed. It's all related. And again, it just came down to mental math. And you might say, well, I don't do mental math. Well, we all do. We all do. We all look at how things come together in our life, and then we utilize these formulas to make these things work. Okay? So I hope that helped. I hope that gave you something that you can think about in your own life, because everything is important, and we must consider all things for our own greatness. So thanks for watching. Again, this is John Morrison from Life Academy, saying always that once you learn something, you should teach it, help other people, so we can all get better. The Life Academy is for you. Thank you. Have a great day.